She gave away her kidney, to save a stranger's life, never knowing that stranger was one of the richest men in the city. But when fate brought them face to face again, everything changed. You won't believe what happened next. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Goodness Corner, where we share emotional stories of kindness and humanity every week. The hospital smelled faintly of antiseptic and hope. Nurse Lena Parker moved swiftly down the corridor, her tired eyes hidden behind a kind smile. She'd been on her feet for 12 hours, yet she never complained. To her, nursing wasn't just a job, it was a calling. Each life she touched reminded her of her mother, who had once fought a long battle with kidney disease. Lena had lost her mother years ago, but her promise remained, "I'll save as many lives as I can, Mom." That evening, as Lena checked her patient charts, she noticed one file marked urgent, critical condition. The name read, Mr. Adrian Cole. She had no idea who he was. All she saw was a man in desperate need of a kidney transplant, with no compatible donor in sight. The doctors whispered that time was running out. Adrian Cole wasn't just any man. He was a self-made millionaire, the CEO of a global tech company. But he was also a lonely soul. He had built an empire, yet lost touch with everything that made life meaningful: family, love, and friendship. Wealth surrounded him, but his heart was empty. When his kidneys failed, he realized how fragile life truly was. But he kept his identity hidden from the world, even from the hospital staff. He didn't want pity, he wanted peace. For days, the hospital searched for a donor match. Each test returned negative. Lena couldn't help but feel for the man she'd never met. She saw his condition worsen every shift, heard his faint groans in the ICU, and noticed how no one ever came to visit him. Something about that loneliness stirred her heart. Then, one morning, the nurse supervisor announced, "We found a match, a perfect one. But it's from within the hospital staff." A chill ran through the room. Everyone looked around. Lena's test results had come back, she was the match. She froze. Her heart pounded. Donating a kidney wasn't a small thing. But something deep inside whispered, "This is why you're here." That night, she went home and stared at her mother's old photo. "Mom," she whispered, "you gave everything for others. I want to do the same. If I can save one more life, it's worth it." The next day, Lena signed the donor consent form. Her colleagues tried to talk her out of it. "Lena, you barely make enough to survive. You're young, what if something happens?" But she smiled softly. "He's someone's son, someone's father, maybe. He deserves a second chance." Meanwhile, Adrian lay in his hospital bed, too weak to speak. He didn't know the face of his donor, only that someone was willing to risk everything to save him. His assistant tried to tell him the donor's name, but he stopped her. "No, if I live, I'll find her myself." The day of the surgery arrived. Lena was calm, almost peaceful, as she changed into her gown. She whispered a small prayer, not for herself, but for the stranger she was about to save. When she was wheeled into the operating room, she glanced at the man lying beside her, pale, unconscious, connected to machines. She didn't know he was the CEO whose company logo hung across every skyscraper downtown. To her, he was just another soul fighting for life. The surgery lasted hours. The doctors called it a miracle, both donors and recipients were stable. Lena woke up in pain but smiled through it. Her only question was, "Is he okay?" "Yes," the nurse replied softly. "You saved him." For the next few weeks, Lena slowly recovered. She wasn't allowed to meet the patient, privacy rules forbade it, and once she was well enough, she quietly returned to her night shifts. The world moved on. She never told anyone what she did. Adrian Cole, on the other hand, opened his eyes one morning feeling different. Alive. The first thing he asked was, "Who did this for me?" But no one gave him a name. His assistant simply said, a young nurse. She didn't want recognition. Something inside him shifted. For years, Adrian had believed that money could buy loyalty, power, even happiness, but this stranger had given him something far greater than wealth. Life. Weeks later, he was discharged. His company's board had been running things in his absence, but Adrian didn't rush back to work. Instead, he took long walks in the park, watched children play, listened to the wind, things he'd never noticed before. His heart felt heavy with gratitude and curiosity. Who was she? Months passed. Lena continued working the night shift, her health slowly returning. The surgery scar was a quiet reminder of a secret act of goodness she never regretted. Until one stormy evening, fate stepped in. Lena was assigned to the hospital's VIP wing. A new patient had been admitted after a car accident, minor injuries, but the man insisted on staying low profile. As she entered the room to check his vitals, she froze. Sitting by the window was a tall, well-dressed man with familiar eyes, deep, kind, yet filled with sorrow and gratitude. He looked up, and their eyes met. Neither spoke for a long moment. But something unexplainable passed between them, a quiet recognition, a feeling of destiny. "Miss Parker," he said softly, his voice trembling. She blinked, confused. You know my name?" Adrian smiled faintly. "Yes. I've been searching for you for months." The rain tapped gently against the window. Lena's heart skipped a beat. She had no idea who he really was, or how the simple act of kindness she once did was about to change both of their lives forever. Lena stood frozen as the man before her smiled softly. "I'm Adrian Cole," he said, his voice warm yet trembling. The name echoed in her mind, the mysterious patient she had once saved. Her eyes widened in disbelief. You're the man who received my kidney." Adrian nodded, his eyes glistening. "You didn't just give me life, Lena, you gave me purpose." He took her trembling hand. "I built empires but forgot how to feel human. You reminded me what truly matters." Tears welled in her eyes. "I never did it for recognition," she whispered. "I just wanted you to live." He smiled gently. "And because of you, I do. But I don't want this gratitude to end here. I want you beside me, in my company, in my life." Lena's heart raced, overwhelmed by his sincerity. In that quiet hospital room, two souls, one rich in money, the other rich in kindness, finally met halfway. Sometimes, the richest hearts are those that give without expecting anything in return. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Goodness Corner, where kindness always wins.